All right, here we go. We're in Mount Helix, California, and we're following a lot of slow foods and slow gardening principles. And so there you have it. Welcome to Slow Helix. This is my very first YouTube video. I've had a few teasers, and it's not the first one I've shot, actually. I've shot a number of different trials and failed projects this summer, and haven't really been able to press the publish button, been stuck in the edit bay with a number of different, just, you know how it goes, YouTube, right? So I'm finally getting out there. I'm finally hitting the publish button. I want to show you what we have going on this farm. The first video is going to be a farm tour. We're going to talk about what's going on here at the Urban Homestead, what we're growing, where we intend to go with it. The next thing we want to talk about is this community, what we hope to build, and really want to get to know all of you and what you want to see on this channel, and what, you know, there's so much we could talk about here, but we want to see what particularly interests you once you get a lay of the land of what's going on here. I want to introduce you to my family and my kids and my chickens and my dogs and all the other things we have growing on the Urban Homestead. And it's really just a way for me to share, you know, things that are most important to me with you. Not everybody can get out here to my property and see some of the things that I've been pouring my passion into. And so this is a way just to, you know, one, share it with you. Hopefully it inspires you in some way. Or maybe it just, you know, brings us closer together and we can get feedback. We can create a feedback loop that doesn't exist. So, you know, I'm going out on a limb there and just, you know, doing something that I don't usually do. I'm typically an introvert. I like to keep to myself. I don't, you know, typically share a whole bunch in social media. So this is a big leap of faith to just kind of get out there, turn the camera on, and give you a window into my world. But it's important to me, and it's important that I take the gift that many gardeners have given me along the way and try to share it with the next class of gardeners. Really, you know, and so let's start there. This gardening on YouTube is such an amazing community. I've learned so much just in the last 6 to 12 months. You know, YouTube creators like The Busy Gardener or Epic Gardening or Raleigh City Farms and Satin Hill, and you know, there are just so many great content creators that are really inspiring to me. Am I Gardener? And I've learned a lot just in my short period of time being tapped into this community. And it really reminds me back when I started my own community garden. Actually, I didn't, you know, start the community garden, but that's how I got exposed to gardening. A community garden was located in Bankers Hill. It's called Juniper and Ivy Community Garden. It's still around today. And in fact, you can just get a plot. You really just pay for your water usage, and you end up gardening next to some of the best gardeners that have, you know, seeds and techniques and experiences that you just really, it's difficult to tap into. The closest thing I've really found is YouTube. And so I want to get my channel going, get posting, build the community, and start tapping into this fantastic hive mind that exists, and share a little bit what I've learned along the way. So that's kind of why we're doing it. The principles that we subscribe to, you know, are certainly regenerative farming practices. We try not to bring, you know, new things that aren't organic into the farm, although that's, you know, we're not super strict about it. The goal is certainly to develop things that are more regenerative, but sometimes permaculturists get a bad rap for being a little bit too perfect about everything. And so I want to be a little bit more loose and just let you know I'm really learning in this journey. I'm trying to tap into the community and learn better ways of doing things and share my mistakes along the way. One of the first things I'm going to share with you is my experience building a hoop house. It's not a how-to, it's actually a how not to. And a video that you'll see coming down the way soon is 5 mistakes on what not to do when building that hoop house. So look for that. So with that, let's get started. Let's kind of check out the hoop house. I'll introduce you to the chickens. We'll show you the backyard orchard, and we'll kind of talk about where we're going next with the property. So without further ado, I know that's a really long intro, but let's kind of take a look at some plants now. All right, so let's give you a tour, take you around, show you what I have going on here. So this property is divided into two. We have the house set up on the top of the hill, and then we have the second part of the property where a lot of the backyard orchard and where we're doing a lot of this work here is. And it's largely separated. When we acquired this property, it was a double lot, and the second lot didn't have any development, didn't have any paths, didn't have any parking, didn't have any accessibility. In fact, getting organic materials on the land is still really, really difficult. It's a really long wheelbarrow haul. down, and in fact that constraint is one of the things that helps us try to keep as much organic matter on the property and try to generate as much of our organic needs from the land itself. So any sort of mulch and fertilizer and any sort of inputs that the farm needs, if we have to bring them from an outside source, it's just a real reminder how difficult it is to get anything on the farm. So it's just a constraint that forces us to be a little bit more mindful in our sustainability. So gotta work with it, right? So the property, this lower half of the property that's set behind me is largely where the backyard orchard is going to grow, and we're going to introduce you to some of the trees we have growing here. I'm walking right down the middle of the property. I'm going to flip around. I'm going to show you the other pathway here, and we've got an archway set with some grapes on either side of it that will trellis up. We've got a mandarin orange tree on the right. And this is a look up the hill at our chicken house. On the right, you'll see a persimmons tree. In the center of the photo is strawberry guava with a wild berry growing at the base. And the strawberry guava has just a lot of fruit that looks like it's setting here. Here, just planted. Hello, Olaf. Olaf is our rooster. You'll meet him in a second. This is a tremoya, Suriname cherry, and an ice cream bean. Planted all of these together in the same hole. And this is a nice combination of a nitrogen fixer in the ice cream bean, a Suriname cherry, it's a shrub vine layer, and a tremoya as a nice fruit producing delicious snack. So this is a look from the near top side of my property. That's Olaf. And that's his three ladies. Olaf is just the best rooster. He's pretty friendly. He's beautiful. So yeah, those are our chickens. We got the chickens this year. We had a run-in. This is part of the YouTube videos that we filmed in the can but didn't actually publish. We lost a few chickens to coyotes, and that was pretty disappointing. We were learning how to manage chickens on our yard, and it turns out we had a couple daytime attacks by coyotes while the chickens were free ranging. So Olaf is one. Olaf and Mollison, named after Bill Mollison, one of the fathers of permaculture, are the two remaining chickens we have left in our coop. And we had a rooster, we had a hen from our initial crop, and we added 2 more hens. So we have 3 hens total, 1 rooster, and they are near and dear to our hearts. We've really grown quite attached to them, yeah, they're fun birds. They started laying a couple weeks ago, and so yeah, here's a kind of look at their nesting boxes, some portholes here in their chicken coop. I like to buy a lot of things on auction, and then just kind of put them together. Oh, there's Olaf. So yeah, I like to get a lot of things at auction and just kind of put them together, and that's how we built a lot of the hoop house. That's how we built all the chicken coop. Those porthole doors came from a boat, and we just kind of tacked them on, and they turned out to work pretty good. Let's see what else we got. All right, this is our main work area. Excuse the mess. This is largely where I organize and plan, and See my camera up for my initial shoot here. And then our hoop house. IBC tote. Let me show you what's going on with this hoop house. All right, so we built this hoop house. Geez, it's been working on it all summer actually. Had a bunch of fits and starts with this. We're gonna do a quick video on what not to do when building a hoop house, because we certainly can cover those bases. In terms of what to do while building a hoop house, I think we still have some things to learn there. But this is really gonna be a key place for us growing in the hot Southern California summers. Even, you know, it's late August, we still have all of October and a good part of November, and it does get pretty darn hot here. And so, you know, starting any sort of crops, especially fall crops that can't take that heat now, really require a shade cloth like we have here in the background. So this hoop house will start as a shade cloth when it gets really hot, and when the temperatures drop, we'll add a plastic covering over it to keep some of the rain off the plants. We don't really need to do too much frost protection here. You know, we don't get a lot of that here in Zone 10A, but largely we want to keep the critters out. We want to keep some of the buffers on the harsh edges of the winters and the summers. And so this hoop house, we hope will provide, you know, a nice safe haven for our vegetables and some of the other crops. So yeah, let's take a tour of that. So it's a 16 by 24 hoop house. We've got 36-inch beds on each side. We've got a 2-foot walkway, and we've got part of it that is exposed full sun. And I'm growing a lot of my full sun trees in the back part. And we've just started to plant some seeds here in the beds, and those will go in soon. Okay, I'm really excited about this. We got an IBC tote off Craigslist. It's I painted it just to block out some of the sun and light exposure for algae growth. I've got it, I'm gonna plumb it. It's not plumbed yet, but I'm gonna plumb it off my roof, and it's gonna run some poly right into the tote, and we're gonna put a low flow sprinkler on it, and it is gonna water this hoop house with rainwater. I mentioned auctions and buying materials to use later. This is one example. I got a bunch of these road dividers at auction. They were about $200 for the whole lot. I paid about $200 for the truck. I was all in on them for about $400. But they're really critical here because we've got so much erosion. We're on a hillside, and so my plan when the ground softens up is to use and deploy these dividers on contour lines, help out build swales, and help build some check terraces. So you know, those hopefully will be a score. But right now they're just kind of an eyesore sitting in the back corner. I've got a little barn here where I store a lot of my tools. We've got a mature orange tree, 2 mature orange trees, and one is going through kind of I'll call it a phoenix process. It hasn't produced in about a year, and it's looking okay now, but it was going through a process where it dropped all of its leaves. But this orange tree has been fantastic. Some of the sweetest, best orange juice I've ever tasted, frankly. Some oranges loaded up already. Looks like we've got some leaf curl and some leaf issues. If you know what's going on there and can post something in the comments, I'd love it. Haven't had time to research what's going on there. Okay, so we showed you the hoop house. I've given you a general lay of the land. We've got the backyard orchard behind me, hoop house up here, work area right here. Let's introduce you to a few of the trees. We're not going to go in depth with every single plant we have planted, but I'll show you some of the interesting stuff, and we'll keep this kind of moving. So we've got an apple tree here. We've got, it looks like a dwarf peach tree, though I have not borne fruit off that tree yet. We will see. I have a fig tree that's been attacked by a gopher. We are going to figure out what to do there. We've got some boysenberry and some youngberry growing along the fence. This is a citrus of unknown variety that looks like it might be coming back. We've got some yellow trumpets here. We've got a purple jacaranda. We've got purple ice plant along the road. And I'm a big Lakers fan. Purple and gold in the playoffs all the way. Go Lakers. And my goal is to make this bottom roadside berm here just filled with all purple and gold. Purple jacarandas, gold flowers, all the way through. So that's kind of my project there. So looking up at the hill, you're staring at avocado that's just coming back. Okay, so here's a look at the hillside from the lower part of the hill. This is where the backyard orchard is going to go. And we're filling it in right now with pomegranate, an aprium, a grapefruit, a lemon tree, Pakistani mulberry, Florida Prince peach, a lime tree, an Alfonso mango, a Hass avocado, a chocolate zapote. That's about all I can see. We'll give you close-ups and detailed videos on the ones we want. So if this is the bottom edge of our property, and I just planted this jacaranda in the summer, again for that purple and gold pattern. And this is a look from the lower corner of my property up. Along the fence, we're growing some Cape Rush, some honeysuckle. This is a lemonade blueberry that a gopher attacked and is coming back to life. We've got some table grapes growing along the fence. My pride and joy, an Alfonso mango that is coming back from a gopher attack. I'm not sure it's going to make it. And that's about it. So yeah, that's a lot of these trees and plants I've put in right around the start of COVID, March, April time period. There was 3 large trees that borne fruit, the loquat and the 2 orange trees. We had a number of trees, maybe 3 or 4 trees that never borne fruit, were never taken care of, that we're trying to nurse back into fruit production. The one I'm most excited about is the avocado. So we've got a few mystery trees that we're not sure what we're going to get. And then we've been introducing sort of that Dave Wilson backyard orchard strategy of planting close together, managing the canopies, and really just trying to grow some woody perennials and some dense fruit production. So that's kind of, what we have going on. What we're looking towards is just trying to develop these paths and our water retention and our erosion strategies. We're not trying to grow so much food production this year. This is our first year of real farming and developing the land. We're trying to develop the soil. We're trying to develop our water retention strategies. We're trying to prevent erosion. We're trying to develop the larger upper canopy of some of the trees that will provide shade and provide some wind shelter and some other protective barriers, so we can plant the next layer, the understory and the shrub layer. So really our goal this season is to get those tall trees in, to try to get some soil and some erosion control established, get the greenhouse, or the hoop house, and get some of the infrastructure required to make a farm like this work, or a yard like this work. So that's really what we're focused on initially. And that comes down to our next project is really going to be water, preparing for the short, intense rainy season we get here in Southern California. And so drainage is going to be key, making sure the water runs off the hill the right way, and we sink the water into the hill to provide, the most to save the natural resources that we have kind of flowing through the land. So we'll do a video specifically on soil erosion, what we're doing, some of our strategies, because I know there's probably some folks that are interested and have some similar challenges that we've thought through already. But mostly I want to introduce you kind of at a broad scale to everything we have going on here, all the different plants and all the different things we have going on here, our challenges, our context. Maybe some of this context rings true to you and you've got some experience that I don't, and you can help me out in some areas. I'm really looking forward to that. If you have some curiosities about things and you'd like me to go deeper on any of these plants or strategies, please let me know in the comments. I will do my best to serve the community and do my best to educate and share things that you're most interested in. All right, well, that's the tour. Thanks for tuning in and hanging with the video all the way till the end. I appreciate it. Still getting things right, trying to dial in the audio, the lighting, all the different stuff that prevents you from pressing publish on a YouTube video. Frankly, I've been way too in my head about this stuff and just haven't been able to, get things published. So just want to get the publish button out. Just want to introduce you to the farm before the season, is too late and people kind of forget about gardening for a little while. Zone 10A, we've got a lot of different seasons and context to work through. So you won't see the channel slowing down with the rains or the winter. In fact, we'll probably be picking up a lot of things because the garden's just too hot to work, in the summer. But come fall, come winter, we'll do a lot of different garden projects that I think will be interesting. If anything, how we mess them up will be interesting to you. So we'll share those trials and tribulations with you along the way. But again, thank you so much for tuning in and sharing, a little bit of your time with us and allowing me to share my passion project with you. I hope, you got a kick out of meeting our chickens and kind of seeing some of the things we've been doing along the way. I just hope to continue sharing with you. Just let me know what you're interested in and I'll do my best to serve those needs. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button, because big deal. This is my very first video, so seeing those likes, seeing those comments of what worked, what didn't is pretty informative for how we shape the rest of the channel. So please let us know what we did well, and of course I know YouTube will let us know what we can constructively do better. So yeah, that's me, Matt Brown, Slow Helix. Thanks for sharing your time with me, and hope to see you again.